You know what kind of drunken brawls those parties turn into. It's no place for kids.
A minute ago, you said you didn't care if he drinks.
He said a little drink.
You're tearing me apart!
What?
You say one thing, he says another, and everybody changes back again!
Girls don't love their father. Since when? Since I got to be 16?
Stop that!
I love you, Jim. I really mean it.
No. No, I don't want you to go to the police. There were other people. Why should you be the only one involved?
But I am involved. We are all involved. Mom, a kid was killed tonight.
This is all going too fast for me,
You better
son.
give me something. You better give me something fast.
Jimmy, you're very young. A foolish decision now could wreck your whole life. In 10 years, you'll never know this even happened.
Dad, answer her. Stand up!
You want to kill your own father? Jimmy!
Back home in the good old Smoky Mountains again. It's enough to make a feller's eyes. The most peaceable spot in the whole United States. But jeepers, I'll build my household right here and I won't leave for the rest of my born days. What a roosting place. Calm and peaceable as skim milk. No more a rigmarole, no more a fighting, and no more a shooting. Stop this rigmarole, you varmints! Why, the shiftless skunks ain't got the manners of a blue-nosed mule. Balls of fire! Time's a-wasting. This'll stop them bodacious idiots.
Gosh, I feel peculiar. Let's get hitched.
You outlaws is now going to be in-laws. So come on over to my diggings and celebrate the occasion.
She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. All the mountain folks will greet her, coys and mulligans will meet her. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be looking for a feller when she comes. She'll be looking for a feller when she comes. There'll be Snuffy Smith by Hokey with the moonshine on Big Smoky. She'll be looking for a feller when she comes. She'll be searching for a preacher when she comes. She'll be searching for a preacher when she comes. She don't want no city slicker, just a man who holds his liquor. She'll be searching for a preacher when she comes. They'll be celebrating plenty when she comes. They'll be celebrating plenty when she comes. They'll be shouting loud hosannas while they're eating like bananas. They'll be celebrating plenty when she comes. She'll be dressed up for a wedding when she comes. She'll be dressed up for a wedding when she comes. She won't wear a suit of cracker, she'll be chocolate like every ring upon her finger from the back of the ring. She'll be dressed up for a wedding when she comes.
Old Snuffy Smith were to hike the doors when the brains was passed out. They're all as peaceable as a bunch of hound dogs. Howsomever, I need me some resuscitating.
And I now pronounce you man and wife.
Balls of fire! Petrified with rage. Time's a-wasting. I vow Snuffy Smith won't be discombobulated no more.
They were punks, stealing hubcaps for kicks, and then they went after the big stuff, easy money. They thought they were tough until... But wait, you see this fuel-injected hot rod action picture yourself. They call them the Choppers. Starring Arch Hall Jr., Marianne Gaba, Robert Paget, Tom Brown, with Rex Pullman, and co-starring the fastest drag strip hot rods and show cars. His first theft was a peanut butter sandwich when he was 6. And now he'll steal anything he can carry or load on a truck.
You better hack it up fast. Can you read me, mobile unit? Bandits, get out of there!
Lock your cars and come and see national champion hot rods in the choppers. It's the most. It's wild. Action.
Good evening, goblins and ghouls, and welcome to the Friday Night Scream Stream. I'm your host, Spakenstein, joined as always by my very good friend, Mr. Evan Sink.
Good evening.
How we doing tonight, Evan?
We are doing fine. Fine in season 9.
Fine. Well, yeah, that's gonna be the whole season. We're always doing fine, but especially in season 9. So. Hope everybody's doing well out there on this Friday evening. I hope everybody's had a nice, chill Friday. I hope if your week's been taxing that you're joining us to kind of unwind, because that's what we do here.
It's tax season.
It is tax season. Yeah, you're never going to be more taxed than you are right now. So this is the perfect time to watch our show because we help you unwind from the tax. If the tax has been particularly taxing, that's what we're here for.
If your tax hasn't been taxing, the pollen might have been taxing. Spring is springing over here.
It is.
I think I'm, as I get older, you always get a little wiser. They talk about spring cleaning. I think, I always wonder, why do we wait for the spring? Well, in the springs when your house is full of dust that makes you sneeze.
That's true. The pollen is already coming out. It's where we are. So you're right. I mean, between the house dust and the pollen, it's this perfect storm of allergens that, if you're particularly susceptible, then this is not the best time of year for you. So I hope you've stocked up on your allergy pill of choice. I don't know. I'm not a medicine guy. Strictly not anti anything. Not anti-medicine. But whatever you do to get through this taxing time of year, hopefully we're a part of your repertoire. So I hope everybody's doing well tonight. And I know Evan's had a good day. He told me this was a good Friday,
It's been a pretty chill Friday.
And we're gonna I don't know if tonight's movie is particularly chill.
Yeah,
our content on this show is not necessary. We're chill.
We hope you've had a chill Friday so that we can ramp it up. We're gonna go click it up to 11.
11. Yeah, we do. We between our Friday night movies and our mini-sodes and our spine tingling tales. We've just got we've got 2 up. Third one will be up this coming Monday.
Yeah, every Monday now. Maybe if you're on the go, you pop in those ear pods or whatever they're called. Listen to a spine tingling tale. Maybe you're on the go, but you're in a very dark alleyway.
Ooh, that's the perfect time to listen to one of these. You know, you want to set the mood.
Mhm.
You want to make sure that the vibe is just right.
Yeah, you're going for your daily walk, like in the abandoned morgue down the street.
Right. You know, yeah. I mean, whatever is kind of like just helps you unwind.
Yeah.
If that's a place that kind of calms your mind, then go to that place.
Maybe you're setting up a tent and you're taking you camping in the graveyard.
Right. Yeah. Hey, now that sounds like a fun evening to me. So whatever the case may be, uh we're you know, we're here part of the journey, and we bring it with the movies, but here, you know, we have our commentary here where we're hanging out, we're chilling. But tonight's movie is definitely going to be bringing it, because tonight we are watching a good old exploitation film based on a true crime story. From 1963, it's The Sadist. And this is a kind of an really like underseen independent film, uh, which again, like I said, based on a true crime. The Starkweather
Based on a
spree
true story.
killings. Yeah, and it's this is a pretty grisly kind of tale. Like the true story is grisly, and then you know, I haven't seen this movie, but you know, this is one of the earliest kind of plays on this true crime tale, which has been adapted in many other forms, which we'll get into all that tonight. As we do, we'll
Okay,
get
okay.
into the people involved with the making of this film who are particularly interesting, namely Arch Hall Jr. and Arch Hall Sr., who we will see more movies from on this show. This is our introduction to them tonight. And this is considered one of their better films. We'll
Okay.
we'll dig into that as well. And it's got a cult reputation at this point. It's I don't know if classic's the word, because again, this is not one that I ever saw or purchased growing up, and it maybe falls a little more on the lines of like a thriller kind of site, you know, I don't know, horror. That may be a good question to kind of answer by the end of this.
Yeah.
Can
Okay.
you call this horror? What exactly would we call this? Because I mean, I haven't seen it, so I can't make that judgment.
Yeah, the
yet.
jury's still out.
Jury's out, but
We're gonna
hopefully
get that verdict.
we'll get the verdict at the end. But this is taking us back to the good old fashioned days when the top concern in America was juvenile delinquency.
They're
so-
gonna chop up your car.
Yeah, if the chopper's trailer didn't like really set you into gear.
We gotta do something about this.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know how ubiquitous those juvenile delinquent films were in the late 50s, going into the early 60s, and there's a lot of kind of tropes that all these movies had in common that this movie also follows, which we'll get into tonight, which are kind of interesting. This is just like this was the whole idea of an exploitation film is you take a national concern or a national crisis and you just absolutely make a, you know, like that Chopper's trailer, the narrator just like a first thing he stole was a peanut butter sandwich when he was 5.
Right, oh
and
my
then-
God.
and it's you know, it's always like sensationalizing
Uh-huh.
this like thing, and then like giving you some really stylized, a lot of times campy story involving teenage violence and, you know, just all this stuff. And
It's like if somebody today made a film about somebody putting a litter box in a bathroom,
right, exactly.
but then there's a lot of violence.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you don't even want to know how over the top you could go with something like that. That might be in the works right now as we speak. I don't know.
Could be. You know, movies take a few years to get out, so
I don't know. That's again, exploitation films all about capitalizing,
gotta
getting it
do
out fast.
Okay. Yeah.
This came out 5 years after the true crime story it's based on. But the juvenile delinquent kind of exploitation film was a thing basically from the mid to late 50s to the early 60s. And I think obviously we saw the trailer for Rebel Without a Cause. That's an influence not only to this genre of film, but also to the crime that we're going to be discussing tonight. Just kind of an interesting thing about, kind of just this whole subgenre and the like way that it was kind of portrayed, like this whole crisis was portrayed in the media directly affected the crime that this movie, which came out on the later side of the exploitation of the juvenile delinquent thing, kind of really capitalized on. So it's interesting. I'm excited for this. We're gonna be doing one of the real sick fuck tonight. And speaking of, Evan's gonna be bringing us really sick cocktail tonight. As he does every night when he pairs a wonderful cocktail with the evening film, the little segment which we call
What were you drinking?
What are we drinking tonight, Evan?
Well, tonight we've got kind of a mouthful. Tonight's cocktail is called the Psychopathia Sexualis.
Okay.
And if you're wondering what the hell does that mean, this tonight's recipe is a reference to the book of the same name, which is a psychological reference text by the German psychiatrist Richard Freiherr von Kraft-Ebing.
Whoa, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, talk about a mouthful. Just keeping it going. Well, it's a German name, so it's gonna be something nuts.
That makes sense, yeah.
And it was a text from 1886, so this is like pre-Freud. This is early psychiatry.
Whoa.
And so, fun fact, this is like the one of, if not the first book where you have like homosexuality and bisexuality talked about in like a scientific way. The less fun fact is that he frames it as if they're like a mental disorder caused by bad genes, which yikes.
Yeah, that's fortunately I don't have it on the scene, but if I could cue up a yikes, that would be it.
But the science was real crude back then. But another more fun fact is that this guy was the if you might know where sadism comes named after the Marquis de Sade,
right?
But what you might not know is that this guy was the guy who coined the term sadism and masochism, and I think bisexuality.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So that's why to come all the way back around.
Sense,
we've completed the circle. The Psychopathia Sexualis for the Sadist, the film. This is gin, sherry, dry vermouth, and sweet vermouth, equal parts all around, with a dash of orange bitters and a orange twist garnish. So there's a lot in this one.
A lot of vermouth.
Yeah, a lot of this is
two different kinds of vermouth.
You had a lot of fortified wine.
You're trying to get rid of one thing of vermouth, you ended up having to get a whole other thing of vermouth.
Kind of like a super martini.
Okay, interesting.
But I don't know how this is gonna taste. This might be like a pleasure is or pain is pleasure kind of thing.
Okay, interesting. I'm excited. I mean, this is again, anything that's one part.
It makes it easy to measure. I appreciate that. We've had it. I think this is the second one this season we've had that has been like that.
Right.
So that's fine by me.
Oh yeah. Hey, I ain't complaining. I'm excited for this. I mean, again, like you always get adventurous with it, and I always appreciate that.
Yeah, we're trying out new things on this show, new movies, new wacky drinks
all the time.
So this is Psychopathia Sexualis, long name. Cheers.
Cheers. Ooh. That's definitely
It's
a
not bad.
sipper for
It's
sure.
stiff.
It's a sipper.
Yeah,
You
that's
don't
a sipper.
Yeah, like I just like it doesn't sting or anything like when you take the sip, but you do feel like the body of it, like
Yeah.
the weight of it.
That is a
almost.
very full-bodied cocktail.
Yeah, it really there's something that there and I've never even thought of the context in which to use that word and the
Right.
tasting
Yeah, it's the
of
kind
a
of thing
beverage,
you-
but I
you-
believe this is the correct.
Yeah, I'll know it when I taste it, okay?
That's what body is in a drink, and
Yep.
I know, and I just had that epiphany now. So that's the beautiful thing about this segment in the show. Is
Oh yeah. Well, we're probably gonna have a lot of bodies tonight
if the true crime is any indication, then maybe we will have a somewhat of a decent body count. Who knows? We'll see.
knows?
That's the fun thing about tonight's movie is that it comes from the early 60s, and so this is a time where the code is breaking down. So in terms of what they're showing with violence and kind of sadistic behavior, they're able to do a little more, especially when you're an indie production. You're not a studio who definitely has to go through the Hayes office still, I think, this time. So I mean, that's the thing. This was an indie production, and it was basically produced by this man named Arch Hall Sr., who had his own company called it was called Fairway International Pictures. And a lot of the movies that he produced featured his son, Arch Hall Jr., who, varying degrees of talent. He has some musical ability. He's the lead in a lot of these movies, but his acting talent is I won't say anything about it. I haven't actually watched an Arch Hall Jr. movie, but some of their other movies that they made have been considered some of the worst of all time.
Oh no.
This is not one of those movies. This has a really good reputation. This is considered this is considered their best movie and Arch Hall Jr.'s best performance. And we'll get into tonight kind of some of the other movies that they made and kind of the whole weird operation that was going on, like in terms of the forces at work here. But you had Arch Hall Jr. or Sr. is also going to be the narrator that we'll hear at the beginning. He's uncredited. That was the interesting thing about these exploitation films at the time, is that especially by this point, it became kind of a tropey thing to have a narrator at the beginning talk about the dangers of like juvenile delinquency or the dangers of a certain kind of whatever your exploitation movie is talking about.
Right. As in case it wasn't evident by what we're showing on screen.
Right. My favorite is because like it got to parody by 1965 with Faster Pussycat Kill Kill, but they do that in that movie, but it's like I'm pretty sure the narrator's talking about the dangers of like sex or sexual promiscuity or something, but then you just have these like go-go dancers just like
Yes.
they know it's making a joke like very purposefully, right? But it was like a trope like created by these kind of movies to kind of have somebody give you a little warning at the beginning and then to go into this lurid tale of juvenile delinquency. And so it's kind of an interesting thing, but yeah, again, we'll kind of you'll get a chance to see why this movie has a higher reputation than others. There's some interesting reasons why there's some touches of quality, I think, to this. So I'm very excited. We've got a lot of interesting stuff to get into. But anything else before we get into it tonight, Evan?
So wait, what did he say? He said he sadist?
Yes.
Sadist? What's this?
Dat.
Oh, okay, you say that.
Right. Exactly.
Got it.
Good. All right. On that note, we're going to go ahead and get into the exciting beginning of a Sadist right now. Nice coat of arms.
I have been hurt by others, and I will hurt them. I will make them suffer like I have suffered.
The words of a sadist, one of the most disruptive elements in human society. To have complete mastery over another, to make him a helpless object, to humiliate him, to enslave, to inflict moral insanity on the innocent. That is his objective, his twisted pleasure.
I love that. Amazing. Great way to open your movie. Crash zoom on these wild eyes.
These crazed eyes.
Crazy eyes.
the eyes of a crazed teen.
Crazy eyes and arched brows.
They call them snuffy, crazy eyes.
So one of the people listed in these credits is an Oscar winner.
Can you guess who it is?
Do you know who it is?
That guy.
Nope.
It was her.
Nope.
Was it him?
Nope. No, I'm already going to answer your question. I don't know.
I was wondering earlier this week, how does one get into the junk business?
You just start collecting it and keeping it out on your lawn.
Strange looking
That's it.
place.
What I thought.
Do you become a junk man on purpose?
How long you think it'll take you to fix? It has to be replaced. Take about a half an hour if they have the part. You should have one with all these wrecks around here.
Parts, nothing but parts. Far as
Back
the eye
highway's
can
good
see.
for time, but have car trouble and you got problems.
If it had to happen, I'm glad it happened where it did. And when it did. I didn't much relish the idea of being stuck in those mountains.
They were lucky. Another few miles, we'd have been in desert.
Is it what you thought, Mr. Stiles?
I'm afraid so.
Can we still make the game?
Well, we've got 40 miles to go. 12:01. Game doesn't start till 1:30.
Oh, bro, you're not making the game.
No, you're not.
And if they don't?
It's plain stuck. If it wasn't Sunday, they could order one from Lancaster. We're the people that run this place.
In the 60s, you'd go to a game dressed like this.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, I mean, they got the short sleeves on. That's casual.
Yeah, this is my day. These are my day off clothes.
Everybody dressed like Mormons
Hello?
on their day off.
I'd like to talk to you about Jesus.
You say when the player swats the ball.
Not swats the ball, Doris. Bats. The player bats the ball.
Yes, when the player bats the ball and it goes over the fence.
That's a home run.
Yes, I know, but if no one can make him out, why does he have to run around the bases?
Because he has to. That's the rules. He must touch every base. Would you like a Coke?
Oh, thank you.
They're just over here helping themselves Cokes. Man, this is the world I want to live in. Go
Somebody
right
could
to
run off
Coke
the whole
holders.
place, and the owner would never know it.
Coke, Ed?
Sure.
It feels like the start of a Twilight Zone episode.
It does.
From the looks of things, nothing around here worth taking.
It's a wonder they get any business at all. Everything is so dirty and greasy.
All work isn't white-collar work, Miss Page. When I was in the Army, I had my fill of this, repairing tanks. This prim and proper should have known me then.
Doris Page is a sweet girl, Ed. And a good math teacher. A little on the prudish side, perhaps.
Boy, my phys ed class calls her Miss Ice Buckets.
Ooh.
Mr. Oliver, I think that is
I
a
heard that.
silly rule. There is no reason why a man should have to run around the bases when they can't get him out.
Isn't that a woman for you? Never seen a baseball game, and
Got a
already
point.
she's changing the rules.
You should go to a ball game with my wife.
Oh, I still think that's a silly rule.
I
We're not gonna see any baseball today. Where's the guy that runs this place? Hey, what about some service?
My goodness, the reverb there.
They must be around here someplace. Doesn't seem likely they'd go away and leave everything wide open.
Perhaps they're round and back someplace.
Hey, anybody here?
Cool.
Hello? Hello?
If the pump hasn't already been stripped off that Chevy, we might be in business.
So you know the gas station too?
Yeah.
That is this the junkyard?
Yeah, I think so.
We got ourselves a fuel pump if it's any good.
Will that work on
Yep,
our car?
got ourselves fuel pump.
Take a few adjustments, but you get us to L.A. I'll borrow a few wrenches and we'll soon be out of here.
Easy peasy.
Mr. Stiles has many talents.
A fine young man. Be a lucky woman that hooks him.
Why, Mr. Oliver, I do believe you're playing Cupid again.
You're only young once, Miss Page.
Why, Mr. Oliver, you sound like an old man.
Well, 52 yesterday.
Well, I'd say you'd had a fine and full life. A nice home.
At
a lovely
52?
wife, 2 handsome children.
Carl Jr. graduates from West Point in 2 weeks. Wife and I are going back for the graduation.
And his son Hardy's is starting to fall.
I'll look around and see if I can find it somebody.
He's going to Hamburger State.
I don't want to shock you, Miss Page. But I'd rather not get my shirt dirty.
Really, Mr.
That's
Stiles,
amazing.
I'm not that stuffy.
I don't know. Taught at the same school for over a year, and it's still Miss Page and Mr. Stiles. I do think Ed and Doris would sound a lot better.
From now on, it shall be Ed and Doris.
She's either a prude or she's from some other planet. I don't know.
Just a snakeskin they shed this time of year.
I can't stand snakes.
Most people can't.
That snakeskin
Part of the
sucked
country's
on me.
loaded with big ones. I hear they get to be as much as 9 feet long.
Well, I was certainly wrong, wasn't I?
Is it? What did? Oh.
Hose or something.
Hello? Hello? Anybody
Who?
here?
Classic mistake.
Yeah.
Just gonna let myself in.
Door was open.
Hello?
Hello?
Is there anybody out there? Just the cat.
Having a full meal all to itself, apparently.
Hey, that cat can cook.
Chef cat. It's still warm. Don't mind if I do.
Doris? Ed? Hello? Hello?
Junkyard cat.
You never know he's the same history teacher from old Lancaster High. He really cuts loose. Today he'll really be in his glory with his red flame.
I know. Edna told me last night that he hadn't seen them play since they left Cincinnati. She said ever since he got the tickets,
There's something going on here that just isn't right. Settings for 4 at the kitchen table, 2 plates eaten from and 2 plates untouched. Pie still warm. Except for a cat, there's not a sign of life. The sooner we get out of here, the better off I'll feel.
It's a snake. Crazed teens.
Just keep working, mister. Because you're going to fix your car just like you intended.
Young man, you have no right to take our car.
Shut up.
What if I don't fix it?
You'll fix it all right, mister. You better not take too long, either.
Supposing I get it fixed, what happens then?
Me and my girl go away. Won't bother you.
How do we know you'll keep your word?
Looks like you're just going to have to take it. Ain't you, mister?
Damn, she's keeping her composure.
Is that the sun?
Yeah.
Give me your wallet.
Oh, yeah, $12.
There's not much, but you're welcome to it. Well, we're only school teachers, young man.
You hear that, Judy?
We don't make much money.
We're only school teachers.
We're criminally underpaid.
We don't like school teachers. Do we, Judy?
She looks like she really doesn't.
Teachers think they're so much smarter than everybody else.
Oh. Now they're definitely
You
not
have our
going
money. Isn't that enough? What else do you want?
Just keep working, mister. Teachers used to call Judy dumb. Make fun of her. Send her home from school crying.
You're a pretty good sized boy. I wonder how tough you'd be without that gun.
Ooh, you're one of them real big talkers, ain't you, mister? All right, big talker. Hand over your wallet. Come on. Pick it up.
You pick it up.
You a real big man in front of your lady friend. But I'm gonna show her just how big you really are.
Put down that gun and I'll show you how big you are.
I'm giving you 3 seconds, mister, to do what I say. I'm saying you pick up that wallet. 1, 2.
Please do as he says.
You put it on the fender. Or do you want the gun, huh? You want the gun? On the fender. Big man, huh? I guess you got showed how big you really was. Start working.
May I get some water? This poor man is being blinded by his own blood.
What? Blinded by blood.
Don't you even have the decency to let me care for this man? What kind of a person are you?
He must be
Do
some
you
kind of
enjoy
sadist.
hurting others, seeing them in pain? How can you be so inhuman?
Oh. Uh-oh. Does she keep a knife in there or something?
is he?
He says he's all right, but I know it must hurt. The gash in his cheek isn't too bad, but the cut over his eye, it won't stop bleeding. I'm afraid he might bleed to death.
Now, Doris. It can't be that.
Damn.
Where do you think you're going? This man needs help, and he's going to get it if you want this car fixed.
Told him.
He's going to be all right, Doris. You're lucky, Carl. A little more to the right, you wouldn't be here.
Shit. Yeah, I guess a good blow in the
Get some
temple.
water in the shade, we can stop the bleeding.
Do it.
What about letting this man get in the shade?
Yeah, you got a lot of blood in your head.
How can you be so cruel?
You get back in that car, he won't be needing nothing.
This lady doesn't know what movie she's in.
No, she does not. This is her
By all
debut.
means, enjoy your lovemaking.
And guess who? Guess
But
what?
The least you can do is
She's
allow us
Arch
something
Hall Jr.'s
water.
cousin. So
Carrying on like that one. You're no more than an animal. You get your dirty hands off me.
You leave her alone if you want that car fixed.
And he won't fix it unless you let us get some water.
There's a pump by the house.
You get working in that car, mister. And you. Go ahead. Shoot if they move, Judy. If I hear a shot, your girlfriend is dead. Don't get no ideas. Judy don't know how to use a gun.
joke's on you. She's not my girlfriend.
I wonder why he changed his mind. Ed, I don't like this.
I know something else you won't like, Carl. Remember reading last week about those brutal killings in Arizona? But did she not even have like a bucket for the water?
I can only bring back what I could soak up in this rag.
I only got what I could carry in my purse. Much water as my purse could carry.
me by? Why are you putting us through this torture? You have our money and you're taking our car. Isn't that enough?
You keep your dirty hands off me. You think you're so much better than me. You kind of all think that way. You called me inhuman.
All right, I apologize. I shouldn't have said that.
My feelings are hurt.
Let me go.
You called me an animal.
Sorry.
That justifies anything.
I'm sorry I said those things. Now, can I go?
You're sorry, but you still think it. You think I'm dirt. You think Judy's dirt. You'll always think it till you don't think no more. Your kind means nothing. You hear? Nothing. Why don't you scream? Maybe the big talker will come and help you. Maybe Miss Goody Good still thinks she's so much better than me. How does it feel to be touched by dirt? Huh? Goody Good don't like it.
Uh-oh.
Taste it! Taste it! Eat the dirt. Taste it! Miss Goody Good don't think she's so much now, does she?
Damn, fucked up.
She don't mind being touched by dirt.
No.
Get moving.
What did he do to you, child?
It's all right, Mr. Oliver. It's all right.
Get back to work.
You want that car fixed? You can do it yourself.
Starting to be the big man again, huh?
You're the big man, Tibbs. That's the name, isn't it? Charlie Tibbs? The big man who killed 7 people? Made them get on their knees and shot them in the head? Paper calls you a thrill killer. It must be a real thrill to wipe out a family of 5. How many thrills have you had since you left Arizona? What about the people here? Did you kill them too?
How long do you think you can keep getting away with this, son? The law's bound to catch up with you sooner or later.
And the law has ways of handling murderers.
Please don't antagonize him anymore.
What's going to happen to you?
If anybody opens their mouth again, I'll blow their brains out.
And that is gonna take us to our first break. What do we think so far, Evan?
Oh boy, yeah, man, this is the kind of stuff it's almost hard to watch. Like,
yeah,
it just doesn't feel like it's going in a good direction.
No, it's brutal. I mean, obviously, any movie titled The Sadist, you would,
it's living up to the title so far.
We've had plenty of movies on the show that don't. Plenty of movies on the show that don't live up to the title. But in this case, yes, they in the first 30 minutes, they have lived up to it. Yeah, that was some rough stuff. Um, and I mean, obviously they're really trying to draw out the tension and the suspense, like I think they're doing it in a good
Yeah,
way.
it feels very tense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It must have been like the opening 10 minutes that we didn't even see Charlie and his girlfriend. But you knew something was wrong. You knew something was up. You were just kind of
Waiting for that shoe to drop.
yeah, and it did. But they really, they built up the suspense to it, and I mean, obviously, I think a lot of that's helping even right now. I think it's obvious is the camera work. The um there's the angles are very much prioritizing kind of depth and trying to have foreground, middle ground, background, and movement and all that good stuff. That was the thing about Arch Hall Sr. in the movies he made featuring his son, was that, they couldn't always get the best writers or the best directors or the best actors. But in this case, they had a pretty damn good cinematographer who worked with them on a lot of their movies around this time. And the name of the cinematographer is Vilmos Zsigmond, and he's credited here as William Zsigmond. And he was I believe he's from Hungary. Don't quote me on that. He came to the United States from Europe, and this was his first film, his first feature film. I think he had filmed some shorts over in Europe. And he went on to be an Academy Award winning cinematographer, most notably on Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I think that's what he won the Oscar for.
Okay.
He also did The Deer Hunter and Deliverance, and a bunch of acclaimed films throughout the 70s, 80s, I think, up through the 90s. But he started out in these like low budget exploitation films. He worked for the Halls. He also worked for this guy named Al Adamson, who I think called him Willie. Which is funny. A guy named Vilmos called him Willie. But he like, it's funny that obviously this guy had an eye for like the camera and just what to do with it. But it's funny that he had no problem kind of starting out in, the world of low budget exploitation and horror movies.
I mean, hey,
you got to start somewhere.
Yeah,
you sure trust your own abilities. You can go on to win an Oscar.
That's really cool, though. Yeah, I'll have to.
And keep an eye on it.
Yeah, keep an eye on
as we go along. Just kind of, I mean, I think we usually do a pretty good job on this show of taking note of when some interesting things are being done with the camera, because we've had plenty of static movies where the camera doesn't do anything. It just wide establishing. You're lucky if you get a close up, and zero movement. We've had multiple movies like that. So yeah, I would definitely, as we go along, look out for that. But and I mean, what would you say so far with Arch Hall Jr. here as Charlie, our sadist?
Well,
he's kind of all over the place,
yeah,
isn't he?
Yeah. He certainly seems unhinged.
Yeah.
So even if I wouldn't say he's doing a poor job or anything.
Right.
But I mean, certainly he's got that crazy kind of
gleam in his eye.
He's got that gleam in his eye.
He does. Something about the gleam and he's got like a pug nose and just it's
Did
funny.
they give him a monobrow?
I need to look closer.
Maybe it was
at
just the shadow on his face or something. But
it could be, but it also could be a monobrow. Yeah, it's funny. Like he's definitely, and it looks like he's covered in dirt. Like his makeup, it looks like he's just completely like Yeah, I was remembering one time where we put makeup on Evan for a production that
Yeah.
we did, and that's kind of what it looked. Where it's like you just have this
Did
fake
cake it
spray
on.
tan on,
Yeah.
like that's what it looked. But in black and white, he doesn't look orange. He looks, he's like he's dirty. So
He doesn't have time to take a shower. He's on a killing spree.
he's on a spree, not a a shopping spree. No. What other kind of spree could there? Yeah.
Candy spree.
Yeah. And I mean, there are, like, we'll kind of get into more of the comparison later between Arch Hall, the character that Arch Hall's playing, and then the actual person and events that this is based off of. But, this really was kind of an amalgamation of different elements of the real story, right? And I mean, definitely departure for Arch Hall Jr., who was usually, we saw the trailer for the Choppers where it looked like, I believe he was playing a juvenile delinquent. It looked like it. But usually, like he made, so the Choppers came out in 61, I believe. In 62, he made 2 films where he played more of like the teen idol type, like, where he's like the squeaky clean teen.
It's like the opposite.
Yeah, the exact opposite, which is so funny because, that was his father was making these movies, playing up this image of, here's my son, he's a popular teen and he can also rock and roll. And so they tried that with 2 movies, one of which was called Wild Guitar, and the other one, which was called Ega.
Oh yeah, Ega.
Which we've talked about. And Ega is considered one of the worst films of all time. We will watch Ega on this show.
Nice.
Probably next season during our summer schlock. It's a good summer movie. And I think that was actually directed by Arch Hall Sr. But it's obviously it's not a good film, but Arch Hall Jr. kind of doing that, kind of playing into that role. But I don't know. I mean, it's weird because I don't know if these movies were successful. Arch Hall Sr. just had his own company to put them out. I think they were distributing these movies mostly in drive-ins in the South. So there's a market there, and they were obviously taking advantage of that. But I don't know. I'm kind of surprised that, they even got like 3 movies starring his son. And he's like, let's do another one. But this is, now Arch Hall Sr. didn't write and direct this. It was written and directed by a regular collaborator of theirs. They made a few other movies with James Landis. But yeah, I mean, tonight's movie is definitely, they were trying to do something different from what had been done in 61 and 62. So those are the trailers that we've got, are for Wild Guitar and Ega. And you'll see, he's doing his whole singing thing and,
rock and roll.
Rock and roll. It's very, it's funny how some rock and roll is timeless, but a lot of it is just not, it's just stuck in time, and that's this stuff. Like, how many Elvis impersonators were there? How many like people that were just copycatting Elvis? So many. Arch Hall was kind of like,
oh, he's in the Elvis school.
Kind of like on the later end of that,
Got the hips.
We'll see in the trailer for Wild Guitar.
Watch those hips.
Ega, he might be swinging some hips or swinging a microphone around or doing some crooning. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Well, we're going to get these 2 Arch Hall Senior Junior trailers. And then when we come back, we'll get into the exciting middle of The Sadist. So stick around. We'll be right back.
This mad, mad town, Hollywood.
Now look, kid, let's get something straight right now.
You're the one that wants to be a star, not me.
You don't love me anymore. Hit me.
An all-American boy sings his way into your hearts. Like thousands of kids who come to Hollywood every year, see Arch Hall Jr. in the swingingest musical action picture of the year.
I used to go skating all the time.
We can't have that. If he wants a girl, get one for him. Nothing could shake him from his goal, not even easy. Frenzy of music and action. From Fairway International Films, the swingingest picture of the year. See Arch Hall Jr. and Nancy Czar in Wild Guitar. From ancient Genesis to the modern screen, is the name written in blood, Ega!
If I could just call you on the phone.
Thrill to the newest recording star, Arch Hall Jr.
The old rock house on the Brownsville Road. Crazy things happen according to the code. You turn to the left at the sun.
See ravishing Marilyn Manning in a thrilling, chilling story. The last of the prehistoric giants sees his first girl. Noah. Curious newsmen search deep in giant country for the last of the ancient cavemen. See a tough giant tamed by the soft hands of his captive woman. See him sacrifice his ageless beard for her love. Then lose her to a boy in a dune buggy, escaping a burning desert. Ega's primitive passion was love or kill. Hear Ega talk, the ancient language of love, used at the beginning of time.
See Ega.
Here, Ega.
Yeah, Egata. Here, Egata. The language of love. It's so ridiculous. I love that trailer narrator. He's one of my favorites. I mean that
We've lost the trailer narrator.
we really have. Well, like especially. You always get the very serious, deep ones, but I like, in the 60s, you have a wild and crazy narrators, like they all sound like the guy from the B-52s. I prefer that kind of trailer narrator over, God rest Don LaFontaine's soul. He was the narrator of our childhood.
He sure was.
I gotta say, I kind of prefer the wild voice, that's my favorite. So too bad. See, I'd watch a whole movie with that narration for sure. That would keep my attention. But yeah,
you can just talk like that.
I can. Yeah, that's true. Everybody would love that. But yeah, this was just the time period when this was what the exploitation independent scene looked like in the early 60s. It was juvenile delinquent films and weird sci-fi movies, and they didn't really delve in straight horror very much. They did work with a guy named Ray Dennis Steckler, who I think he was a cameraman or assistant cameraman on Ega. He did some other films with them and I think acted in some things. He would go on to direct and star in The Incredibly Strange Creatures Who Stopped Living and Became Mixed Up Zombies, which was originally on a double bill with tonight's movie, but and distributed by Fairway International, but Ray Dennis Steckler felt like his film was being overshadowed by The Sadist, because The Sadist was the A movie and then his movie was on the bottom of the bill, and he didn't think that was fair. So he bought the rights back and then distributed it with something else, which I recall. I don't think I wrote it down, but anyway.
But wouldn't you know, he didn't get top billing there either.
No, well, I see. I wish I wrote down what it was, because it was whatever it was. I don't think he did.
Really?
Yeah, it was something that I was like, well, it's definitely better than Incredibly Strange. Which again, another really ridiculous movie. But yeah, this was the indie scene at the time. It was something, man. Outside of Corman, who we're very familiar with, this is like the fringes, right? Corman's like mainstream indie, which is like doesn't make sense, those two words together. But so this is like the fringes of indie at the time.
Fringe indie.
Fringe indie. Again, if your market is mainly the southern drive-ins, you're definitely on the fringes.
Come on down to Fringe Indies.
Fringe Indies. Sounds like a Southern Denny's or something. Like they're just constantly serving up breakfast 24 hours.
Yeah, they also they've got a like Cracker Barrel theme or style clothing store.
Ooh, okay.
They sell tassel jackets.
Oh, now that would be cool.
Come on down to Fringe Indies Tassel Jacket Emporium.
I would shop there. Now the question is, do you put it in Arizona, where tonight's movie takes place? Or I don't know if it's Arizona's been mentioned. I don't know if they're actually in Arizona or if they're supposed to be in another state.
Yeah, I'm not really sure.
The actual story took place in Nebraska. But we'll talk more about that at the second break. We'll get into the actual crime,
the true story.
Yeah, the true story and the people behind it, and because it is absolutely wild. But there have actually been multiple movies and famous song based on the story. So we'll get into all that later. Anything before we get into the exciting middle of The Sadist, Evan?
See, you know, like a half man, half goat, a satyr,
right?
Is this like the more extreme version of that, a sadist? Like all man, all goat.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So in that case, so that's how you would distribute there. That's how you would do it.
Okay. Yeah, 2 halves man, 2 halves goat.
Okay. Yeah, I think that works.
Sadist.
Yeah. It's terrifying.
We're this is our mythology Pokemon crossover. you evolve a satyr.
Oh my god, don't even
you get that puppy to level 36.
Oh and then... my god. I don't even want to know what the ultimate form would be. We're not even, if we go down that road, we're never coming back. So we won't even start. Well, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the exciting middle of The Sadist right now.
To fix that car, you're going to be a big dead man fast. All of a sudden, everybody's becoming the big talker. Getting kind of brave. Nobody wants to talk no more, Judy.
Oh, those earrings. It's like, what is he giving her? Candy?
Got some candy in my pocket.
I'm gonna get my goodie bag.
What is all that? Is it gum, nail polish? Damn, that guy's looking worse.
Judy! Give me a soda!
Uh-oh. Why would you do that? So according to the cinematographer, to use money, to save money, they use real bullets.
Oh, holy shit.
That's kind of fucking wild.
Okay, William Tell. Sheesh.
I don't know if it's for every shot, but apparently that was something. Did he drink a knee high?
Rape soda.
They're going to do something terrible. I just know it.
You. Get up.
I have a feeling Carl's not going to make it.
Over there.
What are you gonna do?
Shut up. Move! That's far enough. Down on your knees. On your knees. Seeing as how you like to talk, go ahead and talk. Talk all you want. As soon as I finish this, you're gonna be through talking. School be out for you, teacher.
It's a good line. I mean, it's a little low-hanging fruit, but
Better start talking, mister. Your time's running out.
You can't shoot me like this for no reason. For nothing.
That's illegal.
Surely blowing my head off can't give you a thrill.
you start chugging it.
Is it money you need? I have close to $2,300 in the bank. Tomorrow you can call my wife. She'll give it to you, all of it. You and your girlfriend can Have a lot of fun on $2,300.
He sure is talking a lot different than he did a while ago. Ain't he, Judy?
You have a father, don't you? Would you want someone doing this to him? Think of your own father in my place. Or yours.
Save your breath on her, mister. I'm the only thing in the world she has. Her old man's dead, and her old lady's a drunk.
Young lady, can't you realize this is wrong? You love him, don't you? You know what it is to be around someone you love and who loves you? I have loved ones, too. A daughter a little older than you, and a son about his age. Please, I beg of you, talk to your boyfriend. Tell him this is wrong. Tell him, please. My God, child, haven't you any feelings at all?
Oh my God.
Don't you understand?
Look at him squirm, Judy. They all alike, ain't they? Yellow when they go.
You just can't wipe out a man's life like this. Not like this.
You just can't stand here and watch.
Ed, you can't let him do this. Maybe he'll listen to you. Talk to him. Ed, talk to him.
Ed, say more.
Come on, Ed, say something, man.
Do something. Tell him you won't fix the car. Don't let him do it.
If you want the car fixed. Maybe the big man wants to take your place. If he says one more word, he will. What about it, big man? You feel like talking? Maybe Miss Goodgood wants to take his place. I guess nobody wants to take your place, mister.
This is so insidious, man. Now while I drink this soda, it's like sands in the hourglass.
School's out, teacher.
No. Already said that.
All right.
No, no, please. Ed, Miss Page.
Oh!
You monster, you monster!
Doris!
Dirt!
Shut up!
I wasn't expecting them to do that.
No, you coward! Doris! Don't touch me!
Doris, you're gonna get us both shot!
I don't care, I don't care. Why don't you go ahead and shoot? Go on, shoot. Go on, shoot, shoot. I don't care.
Oh, what? What, dude? What the fuck? God, he looks so deranged. It does
In
look
another
like
couple of
you.
minutes, I'll have the pump out.
Shut up.
It won't take very long to put it in the other car.
I said shut up.
You're going to need that car now, and I'm the only one that can fix it.
I ain't waiting too long.
Jeez. Brutal, dude.
Judy, go get me a soda.
I didn't
Pie,
think they'd
too.
actually do that.
Poor Edna. How will anybody be able to tell his son's graduation?
Doris, believe me, I feel as badly as you. He's dead. Nothing can bring him back. We're alive. We've got to think of ourselves now.
That's what y'all did when y'all didn't speak up for him.
Do you think I wanted to stand there and watch him die? What could I do? What could anyone have done? You can't reason with that kid. He wants blood, Doris, and nobody's going to talk him out of it. Don't you understand what we're dealing with? He's a psycho, Doris. Well, should I have taken his place? Would that have made you feel better? What would you be saying to Carl if it was me lying over there?
Good thing you didn't have a wife and kids. Oh, is he still alive? No, damn.
I'm sorry.
Forget it.
It's tickets.
I'm so ashamed of acting the way I did. There was nothing we could do. Why don't we just run? The highway is only a few yards from here.
He cut us down before we got 5 feet.
I'll die running before I get on my knees like... I can still see him drinking that.
What has she got? The whole pie? I guess it's still warm. I believe this is all supposed to take place in real time.
Well, this guy keeps drinking soda. He's gonna have to go pee at some point.
I mean, eventually. Back in those days, just run right through you.
Maybe a car will come by and stop.
Sure, Doris, maybe a car will pull in.
Pull in, they won't know. He'll kill them and us too. The police. Maybe the police will pass by. They do patrol this highway. They will, Ed. They will.
Sure they will.
We must find a way to make them stop, Ed.
Doris, miracles do happen, but you can't count on them.
I'm sorry.
Now listen, I'm going to try to find out how many more shots he has left, or if he has reloaded or not.
But how will we find out?
It looks like he does have a unibrow.
4 shots we know of. That leaves 4. He probably shot the people here, too. There must have been 2. Remember what Carl told us about the settings in the kitchen?
Yes. 2 plates eaten from, and 2 plates untouched.
Tibbs must have surprised them while they were eating. They were too frightened to eat while those 2 were stuffing themselves. He shot them. That leaves 2 shots. Well, he certainly didn't walk here from Arizona. Maybe he shot someone else. And if he hasn't reloaded...
Go ahead and talk, mister. You talk all you want. You thinking somebody's gonna save you.
Why should I fix a car if you're gonna kill us anyhow?
You'll fix it. 'Cause that lets you live a little longer. Like back there. I knew you was stalling. If you'd want to fix a car, you'd die right now.
You want this car, Tibbs. Who are you fooling? Oh, you can kill us, but you'll be stranded.
That's a road, ain't it? Well, there's a road, there's cars. somebody will pick us up. They always have.
Is that how you got here from Arizona?
The sailor picked us up.
How far do you take you?
Thought he was a real lover, huh, Judy?
Suppose you shot him too.
Nah, I just cut his throat.
Why haven't you still got his car?
Run out of gas last night. You sure asking a lot of questions, mister. But you go ahead and ask all you want.
How did you get here?
A farmer picked us up. His old crate broke down up the road a piece. Bad. I was beginning to like that old codger.
Shoot him too?
He sure prayed when he went, Judy. Remember? He reached for the sky and talked to the Lordy Lord.
Then you shot him?
Yeah. Right between the eyes.
What about the two people you shot here? Did they pray too?
You must think I'm dumb, mister. Don't know nothing. You're counting bullets. Count all you want. I can count too. You know I only fired 7 shots. Only got 1 bullet left. Unless I reloaded. How many bullets do I have left? Come on, come on! You're the big man! Come on! The 1 bullet's gone! Come on, maybe the gun's empty. Come on, mister, I'm giving you a chance! Come on, big man! Come on, mister! Come get the gun! What's the matter? You afraid? You had a chance, mister. You should have taken it.
It's his chance.
You ain't gonna get no more. See how yellow they are, Judy? It's afraid of an empty gun. Big man. Big talker.
Oh, is he getting tuckered out finally? Yep. Nope.
Ed, they're getting ready to do something.
You.
Oh.
Nice shot. Look at the composition of that.
Yeah, man.
The police. They're coming, Mr. Stiles. I told you they would. They will stop. They will. They will. They're coming after him. They're coming after you. You hear me? You're not going to kill anymore. Doris.
I wouldn't be saying that
Sure
with a
about
loaded
that?
gun pointed in my
I'll
face.
kill you right now. Do as I say. Move! Over there. Lie down. Lie down.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
Stop.
Get up. Hurry up.
It must be the police.
You get in the trunk. Get in there, I'll blow your brains out! One noise and your lady friend dies. Keep her out of sight. She makes one noise, you slit her throat.
These jokers rolling up on their bikes.
Hi.
Hello, son.
Sure a scorcher.
Sure is.
Don't recall having seen you around here before, son.
A friend of the family.
Just talked to Milt's son in town about an hour ago. Funny, being the talker he is, didn't mention anything about visitors.
He just left before I got in.
Lancaster, huh?
Yeah. Been working on the car. Fuel pump trouble.
Mine went out only last week. You know, Jim, it cost over $30 to get it fixed. Boy, what a crook that guy was.
Damn. Uh-oh.
Look, somebody lost a 45 clip.
Where's Milt?
Back someplace.
Well, you can get more parts out of a car than the factory put in it.
Yeah, you sure can.
Oh, these cops just hanging out. Oh. Oh, shit.
Get out.
A lot of expressions, man. A whole lot of expressions.
His face is doing a lot of work tonight.
It really is.
What I told you.
Rubbery.
Mean mugging.
Rubbery face. Yeah, you're right. Mugging hard.
Get moving. I told you nobody could help you.
You're gonna have every officer in California looking for you.
They don't scare me. Nobody scares me. I'm gonna give you a choice, big man. You die now, or you fix that car. I'll give you 15 minutes to fix it.
Why should I fix it? You'll only kill us when I get done.
I'm giving you 15 more minutes of life, mister. you don't want it, I'll blow your head off right now. There is two. It's 1 o'clock. You got until 1:15. You start working.
Yeah, why don't you just take the bike? Guess he doesn't know how to ride one. Go get a gun off the cops, man. Two guns probably laying on the ground right now.
Who'd ever believe something like this?
Wonder if those are Chrysler brand watch bands.
There were two of them. Two of them.
Judy, give me that gun.
"15 minutes. What are we going to do?"
All units. Be on the alert for two Arizona murder suspects believed to be in California. Possibly driving a green 1958 Ford sedan, license number Mary Nora 46983. Suspects hitched a ride with the driver of this car, a sailor, en route to San Diego. The sailor was found murdered 2 miles east of Needles, approximately 10:30
Needles.
this date. Tips, Charles A., male Caucasian, age 20, light brown hair, blue eyes, height 6'1", weight approximately 180 pounds, fair complexion, wearing Levi jacket and pants when last seen. This suspect is armed and to be considered extremely dangerous. In company with suspect number 1 is Bradshaw, Judy, female Caucasian, age 18, black hair, blue eyes, height approximately 5'4", weight approximately 100 pounds, dark complexion, wearing a yellow flowered dress when last seen.
If only that radio call had come 2 minutes earlier.
We've got to do something.
Looks like we'll have to run for it.
Good luck.
This guy's arms to the teeth now.
Put that car neutral and just roll wherever it takes you. That's what I say.
I got an idea. It may not work, but at least it's a chance. It's obvious he doesn't know much about cars. Now look, when I get the pump in, I'll ask you to get in the car and start it. Leave it neutral. I'll raise the motor from here. When I give you the first signal, I'll scratch my shoulder. When I do, you shift into drive and push down on the brake. Got that?
Yes.
When I give you the second signal, I'll wink. Hold on tight because I'll be pulling the gas pedal to the floorboard. I'm going to try to lure him in front of the car.
Oh, shit. Hell yeah.
It's just a chance. We might not hit him, but if we can at least startle him, it may give me the few seconds I need. Let's just pray this doesn't kick out on us.
What if it does?
Run for it.
What if he won't let me get in the car?
It's a chance we'll just have to take.
And that is going to take us to our second break. What are we thinking so far, Evan?
Still pretty tense movie. We're
I mean, we had 3 deaths there.
Yeah, pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, the headshot that was
jeez.
Caught me completely off guard.
Yeah, this is a brutal movie. Not really messing around.
Well, no, and I mean, again, with the true story it's based off of, I mean, the true story is arguably worse. It's definitely worse. And so like I said, the true crime story that this is based on happened 5 years before this movie came out, and it was
61.
This came out in 63, so it was in so it was a murder spree by this 18-year-old named Charles Starkweather. And it's weird because the spree technically lasted from November 1957 to January 1958.
It's a long spree.
Well, 10 of so there were 11 murders total over that. 10 of those murders happened between January 21st and January 29th.
Okay.
So it's weird that they call it a spree. Well, I mean, that they include that one murder that happened months ahead of time into the spree, but they do.
Might as well just throw it in there.
He might as well. He had murdered somebody that worked at a gas station that had kind of, fucked up to him. Basically, Charles Starkweather, very much like this Charlie in this movie that we're watching, had a lot of problems with the way that he perceived that he was treated by society, right? And he had a lot of kind of things that caused him to get made fun of and be bullied, and so he kind of always had his chip on his shoulder, right?
Yeah, but this is America, and you can do something about it.
Yeah, well, for better or for worse, I guess you're right about that, Evan. But I mean, he was like, it's funny with the way that Arch Hall Jr. is kind of walking.
Yeah, he's doing a lot with his body,
right? Which is so it's funny that it's such a physical performance. When we talked about the face, but even in the movement, Charles Starkweather was apparently severely bow-legged.
Really,
like the kind that you wouldn't be able. He wanted to join the military, but would not have been able. I don't know if he wanted to join, but he wouldn't have been able to join because of his.
It was so bow-legged.
Yeah, he had a disease or some kind of thing that it was that bad, right? He
was
also
a Sagittarius.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I caught the Sagittarius, small bow-legged.
Sagittarius legs. Yeah, I was gonna say that was his nickname, and he had his nickname. One of my sources for this is there's podcast I listened to, Last Podcast on the Left, big fan. They did a whole series on this story. One of apparently his nicknames was Redheaded Peckerwood, or it was something like that. Redheaded Bow-legged Peckerwood. Something like that. So he'd get nicknames like that. He couldn't see. He had really bad eyesight, so he had to wear thick glasses, but he didn't want to wear his glasses because he didn't want to get bullied, so he couldn't really see very well. So he obviously didn't do well in school and had a big kind of, obviously not very smart.
Do you think he wouldn't be very handy with a gun if he couldn't see?
Well, you would think that, but apparently,
he doesn't need eyes.
He didn't
to
need.
aim.
Yeah, I mean, you just need to get kind of close to the blob, and guns back then. But he, he ended up dropping out of school and was a big fan of the movie Rebel Without a Cause, and really idolized James Dean, and felt identified with the character that James Dean played in Rebel Without a Cause. Really felt like society doesn't understand me, and my parents don't understand me, and everybody's out to get me. And
yeah, bro, I love Fight Club.
Right. It is very much that idea of the kind of the kind of nihilistic white man who is so disillusioned by everything that he ends up doing horrible things. I mean, that's the thing. This was kind of one of the this was actually the same year that Ed Gein and all that stuff came out. What Ed Gein was doing in his house, right? The idea of grisly crimes was not really like a public fascination. And this was the time where it really started becoming a thing. And this case was big because, we talked about there was one murder and then basically 10 murders within the span of like a week, right? And it started with the family of Charles's girlfriend, who was Carol Ann Fugit, who was 14 years old
Jesus.
during the spree. Yeah. She was 14 and there are all these differing stories about what was her level of complicity. What did she know or didn't know? What did she participate in or not participate in? She and Charles Starkweather said different things at different times that kind of contradicted each other. She said that she wasn't involved with anything, didn't know about any of the killings, but the first killings were her mother, her stepfather, and her 2-year-old sister, who was beaten to death. And but she claimed that she didn't know that they were dead and that Charlie was holding her hostage. Charles, what are you gonna call him? That he was holding her hostage. And so, but apparently, they killed her family and then they stayed in the house for like a few days or a few hours. For a while, they stayed in the house and drank soda and apparently
longer
practiced
than you should.
Yeah, they just were living it up, but then obviously people started coming by being like, "Where's the family? Where is everybody? What's going
What's
on?
that smell?"
Yeah, and so they were like, "Oh, everybody's got the flu," and then eventually
they got that smelly flu.
That really smelly flu. Don't come anywhere near here. They put the bodies in an outhouse, I think, or something.
Oh,
like that.
okay,
And
yeah,
then-
that's just
yeah. Hopefully the wind is going in the other direction. But they realized they had to get out of there pretty quick. Because even like Charlie's sister was sent to figure out what was going on. Like all these cops were coming by. Like the Carol Ann's grandmother came by. Like all these people were like coming by, but they were like Carol Ann was able to be like, "Oh, everybody's sick. Like go away. Don't come near." And so that's sort of the thing where you hear conflicting stories about what was her like level of complicity. But so they left. They ended up like they went to this old man's house who I think maybe kind of like in this movie kind of lived in like a junkyard. Killed him, killed his dog, and then like tried to take a car. Then like went to these rich people's house, like killed the lady and her maid, and like so it was killing spree. I mean it was awful. And this was all in Nebraska. I don't think they definitely didn't get as far as California. But the total at the end was 11, and like I said, they had conflicting stories, but they were both convicted of murder. Charlie was just convicted of one murder and then sent to the electric chair and died by the electric chair a year after the murder. So they didn't wait too long. Carol Ann served 18 years and then was released and is still out there to this day. And in 2020, he requested a pardon because of she wanted to alleviate her burden for being associated with these crimes. And it was denied because they said, the whole point of a pardon is to restore certain rights. It's not to clear your name or to alleviate your burden for being associated with this thing. That's not what a pardon does. And I don't know. Again, it's a very complex case. It's one that, obviously we don't have the time to go into here and, what the complicity level was and who was the mastermind. But obviously they were both two kind of not very intelligent people who just went on this spree and didn't really care about what they were doing to people and fucked up. But this was the start of like the true crime craze in America. I mean, this was one of those stories that kind of grip people. But this was the first adaptation, the film we're watching tonight. And the two trailers we're going to get for our break are other pretty popular kind of plays on this story. The first is a 1973 film entitled Badlands, directed by Terrence Malick. It stars Martin Sheen and Sissy Spacek, and it's basically it's a dramatized version of the story, but it kind of like tonight's film is a certain telling of the story. But Terrence Malick, if you know who he is, he's a very artistic director. He's only made like 6 or 7 or 8 films in the like 50 years that he's been working, and like 3 of those were in the last like 10 years. Like for his first 30 years he only did like 3 or 4 films, but they were all like critically acclaimed and Oscar nominated, and Badlands was his first feature film. And it's a very highly acclaimed movie. I've seen it before. It's I mean it's arty, so there's like a kind of weird presentation to it. But if you like that, then you should, and you like tonight's movie, you should definitely see Badlands. The other kind of famous play on this story is like a pendulum swing in the opposite direction. The film Natural Born Killers, which was directed by Oliver Stone, who did like JF. The trailer, like the first 45 seconds are just talking about Oliver Stone's other movies. Oliver Stone, who brought you this and this and this. I think it's Don LaFontaine narrating that trailer. But I think it was scripted by Tarantino. So it's like a very highly stylized version, and it's Woody Harrelson and Juliette Lewis, and they're like really leaning into the media, like the Bonnie and Clyde-ness of it. But it kind of takes the elements of, this not bright older guy and this really young girl going on this killing spree, right? It's a kind of a plot that's been used in films and other things, which we'll talk about after the break. So we're gonna get these 2 trailers, and then when we come back, we'll get into the exciting conclusion of The Sadist. So stick around, we'll be right back.
He was 25 years old. He combed his hair like James Dean. He was very fastidious. People who littered bothered him. She was 15. She took music lessons and could twirl a baton.
I'm Kid. I'm not keeping you from anything important, am I?
No.
She wasn't very popular at school. For a while, they lived together in a treehouse. In 1959, they murdered a lot of people.
Of course, I had to keep all this a secret from my dad. He would have had a fit, since Kit was 10 years older than me and came from the wrong side of the tracks, so-called.
I don't want you to hang around anymore. I don't want to see you again. Understand?
Then, sure enough, Dad found out I'd been running around behind his back. He was madder than I'd ever seen him. He made me take extra music lessons every day after school and wait there till he came to pick me up. He said that if the piano didn't keep me off the streets, maybe the clarinet would.
My girl Holly and I decided to kill ourselves, same way I did her dad. Nobody's coming out of this thing happy, especially not us. I can't deny we've had fun, though.
We hid out in the wilderness, down by a river in a grove of cottonwoods. It'd be in the flood season. We built our house in the trees. We planned a huge network of tunnels under the forest floor, and our first order of business every morning was to decide on a new password. He gave me lectures on how a gun works, how to take it apart and put it back together again, in case I had to carry on without him. He said that if the devil came at me, I could shoot him with a gun.
Hey. Listen to your parents and teachers. They got a line on most things, so don't treat them like enemies. There's always an outside chance you can learn something. Try to keep an open mind. Try to understand the viewpoints of others. I think I got him.
I don't know.
Well, I'm not going down there and look. Consider the minority opinion, but try to get along with the majority of opinion once it's accepted. Of course, Holly and I have had fun, even if it has been rushed. So far, we're doing fine. Hadn't got caught. Excuse the grammar.
Platoon. Wall Street. Born on the 4th of July. JFK. Oliver Stone's vision has changed the way we saw our past. Now he takes a look at where we are and where we're going. And you will be shocked at what he sees. Nikki and Mallory. Feared by thousands.
I love you so much, baby. I love you.
Watched by millions.
We're fading. Can't stop fading. Nobody can. It's kind of like the Twilight Zone or something.
Woody Harrelson, Juliette Lewis, Robert Downey Jr., and Tommy Lee Jones.
What do you have to say to your fans?
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Natural-born killers. In the media circus of life, they were the main attraction.
And we are back. So those are the trailers for Badlands and Natural Born Killers, which...
Man, what a style.
I have not seen Natural Born Killers. That trailer does not necessarily make me want to see. I mean, it's just that was a lot.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Like,
I liked his fit, man. He got the round
the
glasses,
psycho glasses.
Yeah, the yin yang earrings.
Yeah, I mean that movie has definitely become a cult classic in and of itself, like a true cult classic. And yeah, I haven't seen it. I know it's kind of a blind spot. A movie I have seen from the 90s that was loosely based on this true story of Charles Starkweather was The Frighteners, which I don't know if you've heard of that movie, Evan. But that's a mid-90s movie directed by Peter Jackson and starring Michael J. Fox. And he's like a medium that he kind of like, he can actually see ghosts, but he's also like scamming people with the ghosts or something. I can't remember the plot exactly. But one of the ghosts or one of the like stories, main like kind of the antagonist revolves around a Charles Starkweather type murderer and his young girlfriend, and it's their ghost or his ghost that is like the main antagonist of the film that Michael J. Fox has to like try to defeat. It's a wild. It's like, you know, Peter Jackson, so there's a lot of visual effects, like because it's ghosts. There's a lot of like, I mean, it's pretty. I watched the movie again a few years ago. I watched it a lot growing up, which I cannot tell you why. That movie was on TV a lot as a kid, but it was. I have vivid memories of that movie kind of freaking me out a little bit. 'Cause it's like, what
These
is
ghosts
all
look
this?
so real.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just kind of a wild. I mean, it's just a good ghost story, and you know, and it's in a creepy old house, and you know the Peter Jackson just kind of leans into the whole, you know, him, he likes to go big. So
Right,
with
yeah.
when it's a ghost story, I
Gotta
mean,
make
he
the
really,
biggest ghost.
yeah, and it's also funny. I mean, again, it's Michael J. Fox. It's the ghosts are funny. Like everything's really pretty like humor forward. But that's if you haven't seen The Frighteners, check out The Frighteners.
Okay.
It's a good one. And the
It went.
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say the dynamic, the like the old killer and the young girl. What it reminds me of is Leon the Professional.
Oh, see, I have not seen that.
Yeah, that's a pretty
Okay.
good movie. Yeah, it's they're not. I don't think they're they kind. I think they kind of flirt with the romantic angle, but they don't really. Can't remember if they actually go for it or not. But it's
Okay.
uh
I've heard of that movie, but I'm not. What country is it?
oh, I'm not. I
Heard of that, but I haven't seen it.
yeah, I wish I had all the facts pulled up for that one, but
Yeah, Evan, get your facts.
I had a whole break to figure this out.
Come on, Evan. No, I mean it's a story that has been the inspiration for a lot of kind of pop cultural touchstones, piece of media. There was actually a song entitled "Nebraska" by Mr. Bruce Springsteen.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, which is based on the whole Charles Starkweather story.
Sheesh.
Yeah, I have not. I should have listened to it before this. I don't know why I didn't. Sure, I've heard it before, but
We'll listen to it after the show.
yeah, well, yeah, I'm sure it's really dark and depressing. So
Yeah,
it'd be like the perfect thing.
An American anthem by
Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce, you know him. His songs are always positive and upbeat and cheery. Always. But yeah, so that's it's kind of funny. Well, it's not funny, but it's interesting the way that kind of these kind of violent, like, news making stories kind of end up serving as inspirations for kind of a wide array of movies. I mean,
It's I guess it's one of those things where it's like you can't make this up.
that's what horror is like. I don't know. That's the interesting thing about horror is that there is a spectrum of, okay, like this is literally the most fantastical kind of, even though you know that this kind of monster could never exist, here's this monster and it's actually scary. And then the total other side of that is, oh, this could actually happen. This is happening right now. Here's just an extreme version of it, but it's grounded, right? There's that between grounded and like fantastical. That's the beauty of horror, is that it doesn't, it's not necessarily confined to one or the other. There is like a spectrum. So
Yeah. So, do we want to go ahead and call this one? Are we saying it's horror?
What
it
do you-
feels pretty horror to me. It in the same. I mean, when we're talking, or while we're talking about what this movie reminds me of, what this movie really reminds me of is House of a Thousand Corpses. Where
oh
it's that kind
yeah.
of captive, kind of like, can they get out? Is there a way they
Yeah.
can get out? The cops come, then the cops get killed, and
This is the kind of exploitation movie that definitely spawned House of a Thousand Corpses. I don't know if Rob Zombie watched this specific movie, but definitely
this kind of formula.
there were the other movies like this that Rob Zombie definitely was inspired by for that movie. But it's, I don't know, I could see it being an inspiration. It's definitely unsettling.
Yeah. Well, that one had a happy ending, right? So
Yeah, sure. God, that movie's messed up.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's like the interesting thing about this too, is that it's not really I think what makes it horror is the fact that it is also unsettling. Like, you could just call it a thriller if it was just kind of like, if we didn't already see 3 people get shot and we haven't already seen some assault and violence. It was like really uncomfortable. Like, all that, it creates an unsettling feeling, which there's a horrificness to that. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's definitely it's been a pretty thrilling watch so far. So we'll definitively be able to call it by the end. But
Yeah.
so far, yeah, it's Pretty horrific. So, anything else before we get into it, Evan? Any predictions or
Yeah, I
thoughts?
think I know how this one's gonna shake out.
Oh yeah.
If we want a happy ending, he's gonna ask for another soda, and then she's gonna run and get him a 7 Up, and then he's gonna calm down.
Okay. Yeah. He just
'Cause
needed to like
he needs a little lithium.
right. That lithium get you leveled out.
It's gonna need some lithium to just
Mhm.
level me out.
Yeah. That's all Charlie needed. Wow. Well, on that note, we're going to go ahead and get into the exciting conclusion of The Sadist right now.
Well, at least we know she can care about something.
Yeah.
You got 11 minutes.
I'm elbow deep in this car, guy. I'm working as hard as I can. What did he Oh. Oh shit. Is it good? Well, the car's not gonna run if it's all that fluid is leaked out.
I can't fix the car with you starting it.
Man, I'd hate to get killed by this guy.
This
sucks.
fucking guy. Charlie. Why are these psychos always named Charlie? What is this? Charlie Starkweather, Charlie Manson.
And then they'll start dancing.
Uh-oh. See, in the movie, they were like careful to say that she's 18 because they were still worried about the Hays Code. They were still worried about getting called out. But she's obviously playing the character in an infantile way. And to that end, with little to no dialogue. Well, I'm just giggling.
Yeah, has she said anything?
She said like one line. She whispered in his ear.
Oh, yeah.
This is Dick Woods bringing you music from Dodger Stadium as we do every Sunday preceding the ball game. Talking about baseball, those red-hot Cincinnati Reds are in town, riding a 9-game streak.
This was just
It's going to be Bob Perky
so soul crushing.
and Sandy Koufax for the Dodgers. It should be quite a pitcher's battle. There's still plenty of good seats to be had, so if you're not doing anything, come out to Dodger Stadium and see exciting National League baseball. It's a beautiful day for a ball game.
It's a beautiful.
Still time to come on down. And now stay tuned for Dodger Warm-Up.
we could just get them away from the car long enough to...
Music. All those people. Laughing and yelling. So happy. Oh, Ed, I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
You're not going to die, Doris.
Minutes.
He'll keep his word. We know that.
Doris, get in the car and start it so I can see if the pump holds pressure. Doris, get in the car and start it.
Oh.
Just a minute.
Yeah, I wouldn't fall.
You
for
want the
that.
car to run.
Yeah.
I want to live those extra few minutes.
Now I have to check the pump for pressure.
All right. But it better run good.
Now let's hope that like nothing gets stuck in his eyes so he doesn't like give the signal up too early. Whoa.
Start it up.
You ain't got much more time. 2 minutes. How does it feel when you're about to die?
Try it now.
Oh.
I think you Yellow Belly. Yeah. One of them squirmers.
Okay, wait, that's the first signal.
Yeah.
So what's she's supposed to put it in neutral?
You put on the brake, yeah.
I'm all puckered up over here. He's like trying real hard to be out of the way of the car. Why does this look like a reshoot? His hair is significantly less blonde.
Yeah. Could be.
Wink, man. Wink, damn it. Oh no.
Get up. I said get out!
Yeah.
Move. think I'm stupid. You're trying something. You did something.
I did nothing.
It was running pretty good a few seconds ago. You must have did something.
Look, this pump has been in a wrecked car for who knows how long. Now, sometimes they get clogged and don't hold the pressure. I should take it out and clean it.
You ain't got time for that.
It's not holding pressure. It needs to be cleaned.
You're looking for time, ain't you?
It won't take very long.
You ain't taking nothing out. You think you're fooling me, don't you? Think I don't know nothing but cars, don't you? That thing right there, that's a carburetor. The car can't run unless there's gas in it. All you gotta do is prime it. Now, I've seen that done, so you prime it. Well, go on, there's a gas pump over there.
No smoking, please.
Please.
Yeah, I guess if the gas pump is shooting out like that, you really should not be smoking here.
Testing that thing like a syringe.
Jeez. Doris, get in the car and start it when I tell you to.
Nobody gets in that car but me.
If I'm gonna prime it, somebody has to pump the gas pedal.
Just never you mind. You just put that gas in that carburetor.
Put the gas in the carburetor? Is that how it works? Oh! Oh shit! Did he get shot in the head? Flush me. Oh shit!
Do something, dude.
Oh my god, yeah. You got grazed, bro. You gotta get it. I mean, who am I to say? Nice. Got that lens all Vaselined up. Oh no!
Oh.
Oh fuck.
Sorry, Charlie.
Oh no. Damn. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh god.
I know you're hiding. I'll find you. I'll find you. I'll kill you.
Wild man. Nice. Here we go.
Yeah, finally. Fighting back.
Tire iron right in the...
Upgrade.
Damn.
Oh my god, this lady cannot help herself.
Lady gonna get shot. Damn.
Doris, run!
Oh god. Oh no. Finally. Go, go, go. Yeah, Doris is moving.
They do such a good job building tension.
Yeah, it really, like, it's not filler. Like, it's definitely
It's serving
drawn
a
out at a
purpose.
good pace.
Yeah,
right?
it feels like a almost surprisingly modern kind of movie. Maybe at least, you know, relative to some of the stuff we see on this.
100%. Yeah, definitely compared to what we normally watch. I think modern movies are a little too like they don't even take this care.
Yeah, true.
Oh shit.
Outsmarted. Coming right at you.
stop now.
Last magazine.
I think so. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Brutal. Damn, I thought he was gonna.
Yeah, I thought he had it.
Oh, did he get it running? Yes, sir. Oh, come on.
Hey, get off the road.
Hell yeah, I guess she is all, her feet are definitely all fucked up. Oh no, is this gonna be like House of a Thousand Corpses?
Yeah.
Oh
no.
At least she knows.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! Oh, Jesus! Damn, she's got some speed. God, this is all they were supposed to be at the baseball game, man. This is so brutal. Trolling them real hard with this baseball. Shit. this is so fucking creepy. Dog. I love they love doing this, putting them both in the same shot. Like a really extreme wide shot, like extreme long shot from
Oh no.
Oh fuck.
Oh shit.
Oh fuck.
Oh shit.
Oh wow.
He fell in a snake pit.
Literal snake pit. Oh shit.
Not so tough are you now,
Oh,
Charlie?
God. Nature strikes back with a vengeance.
Not so tough in this pit of snakes.
Let's see you be a juvenile delinquent down here.
Welcome to juvie, kid.
Shit. Bro. My God, this movie. Chaos.
Wow.
He was apparently in that pit with real snakes, and they like, I don't know how you do this, but temporarily sewed their mouth shut.
Okay. With like a, they put like a rubber band on it, like a lobster claw.
Can that be count as sewing?
Incidentally, there are lots of good seats here for you fans who enjoy the Dodgers and the Red Lakes. If you're close by, won't you come on down? You'll enjoy it here at Dodger Stadium. A gorgeous day, shirt sleeve crowd, everybody having a wonderful time. Okay, we're set to go.
Shit.
Bottom of the
Wow.
first inning. Ron fairly up there. Perky, the great pitcher of the Red Lakes, set to go. He faces him. He has his sign. There's the windup. The pitch. Fairly belts it.
Oh, I get baseball now.
Going back, he turns and races toward the wall. Back he goes. Oh, it's a home run.
This is ridiculous.
I kind of like the baseball.
Like the through line of the baseball game.
Yeah.
Does add some depth to the story. Was that it? Wow.
That's it.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
That was The Sadist. What did we think, Evan?
Sheesh, man. I mean, that was a brutal movie. But
I wasn't expecting it to like go that hard.
Yeah,
honestly.
I enjoyed it though.
I did
liked
too. I like. The thing was, if it took its time in places that like if it didn't deliver, then you'd be like, oh, it was boring. But it took its time to lead up to satisfying payoffs, right? It wasn't doing anything just to pad the running time. of
Yeah.
the movie. It all felt very deliberate, right? And what'd you think?
I mean, the cinematography was great.
Yeah.
The Charlie was he was certainly menacing.
Yeah.
He's definitely a cretin, I think.
Cretin is a good word to describe it.
Can he act like a cretin?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can do that. I just move my body and make rubbery faces. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's
twisting his face all around.
given the performance of his life, to be sure. You go watch. We will see more Arch Hall Jr. movies, but this is probably his best performance by far. And yeah, I thought it was effective. And I mean, overall, it's just a pretty brutal, intense movie.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking earlier about the like spectrum of, real versus fantastic horror movies. Where do you land on that? Like what do you prefer?
I like something leaning more toward the fantastical, but with enough logic that we're not just totally off in fantasy land.
Yeah, I think I think I'm about the same place. But there is I think the real movies are always the scariest ones.
The things that feel like they could really happen.
Yeah, because like this kind of thing could just happen. Like
Right.
a crazy guy with a gun could just show up at any point.
I mean, that's the thing. This really started to become a style of horror movie. Well, okay, so we were talking about this. Do you classify this as a horror movie? And by the end of this movie, I had an epiphany to now definitively say absolutely yes. And what I just said there, I didn't even realize the connection, but I was saying that you just started getting this kind of movie in the 60s. You know what kind of movie this is?
Well,
what subgenre of horror?
I mean, it's a final girl movie.
It's a slasher movie.
Okay, yeah.
But you're right with the final girl. There's a final girl. Again, when it's a gun instead of a actual slashing object, you're hesitant.
The shooter.
You're hesitant to say the word slasher.
It's a chopper.
A similar movie, I would say, in that sense, is Peter Bogdanovich's Targets, which has Boris Karloff in it. The whole like sniper killer in that movie, like that whole thing obviously was based on a real thing that happened in the 60s. And it very much, could have happened. It was, kind of taking this like thing that could be very real, the spree killer, which they started to see in the late 50s, that started to become more of a sensationalized thing. Oh, there's a spree killer. I mean, guy peaked with the Zodiac killer, right?
Yeah.
To an extent in the 70s. But I mean, every decade, you have all these kind of these cases that are blown up by the media, and this definitely, it's kind of funny that this is really one of the earliest examples that I can pinpoint that does that. But it also, again, yeah, there's like a slasher feel, and the way that you're just it's doing this true crime spree killing thing, but you are just watching this psycho killer
stalking,
stalked
menacing,
viciously. You had all the scenes, like the guy going in the house when you're like, oh, don't go in the house.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's all the hallmarks. It's just, it's a proto slasher, I guess. I guess that's, if you, proto slasher would be the best thing. But I mean, even then, I wasn't expecting to see a guy's head,
I know, yeah.
I mean, obviously you just saw smoke in front of the guy's head, but that's still more than I was expecting. So yeah, I'd say definitely a horror movie, definitely proto slasher. Was not expecting them to go the final girl route at all.
No. And I was kind of glad that we did get a happy ending.
Yeah,
because with these kind of the more real kind of horror movies, sometimes you just don't. And
that's true. But a lot of movies on this show, sometimes they're too happy of an ending.
Oh, sure.
And
you don't want it to be like, saccharine.
That's what I'm saying. If you're not delivering on the horror, that's where it becomes boring. If they didn't kill the two other guys, the two other teachers that Doris was with, if they all three would have lived, like, okay, this was
yeah, it
wouldn't have been the same. But the fact that like she was the sole survivor, like
she only survived like kind of
because of a fate,
Deus
like
Ex Machina.
Yeah, exactly.
The
That's
dude
what it
just
was.
Suddenly falls in a pit of snakes.
Yeah, I mean, a very, very well placed, poorly covered snake pit.
It was all her plan all along.
She was the real mastermind,
luring him into this pit of rattlesnakes.
But there's not really I don't think that I've seen too many people say that this could be called a proto slasher, but I haven't seen the final. This may be the earliest example I can think of the final girl trope, and maybe I need to go do a little research and see if there are earlier. But it would be cool if this was actually one of the early examples of that.
Stumbling on some Scream Stream scholarship.
Yeah, I mean hey man, I was amateur scholar over here. Amateur. Underline the word amateur. But yeah, I mean, you gotta think. I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out 10, 11 years after this.
I mean, full decade.
I mean, that's kind of the start, like official at Black Christmas, I guess, too. But you could make some arguments against that. But Texas Chainsaw, iconic, obviously. So I don't know. This movie definitely surprised me. It offered more than I was expecting it to offer, and definitely to the extent that I would say it was a horror movie. And I'm glad I finally watched it. I'm glad to have it checked off on the list.
Yeah,
it's a really solid movie. So that was The Sadist. And again, like I said, we'll get more Arch Hall, so Junior and Arch Hall Senior, because he's in some of. We'll at least watch EGOT. I don't know. The other ones aren't really horror. And I don't know if like Wild Guitar is public domain, the Choppers, but definitely EGOT. So we'll be talking more about them down the road. And I believe Arch Hall Jr. is still alive. He only made a few more movies after this and then became an airline pilot. And yeah,
cool.
So he things turned out good for him, he fared okay. So yeah, we'll get more of them probably next season, but next week we're really getting back to the full roots of this show. We are getting a classic horror era vampire film. Next Friday we will be watching Condemned to Live from 1935.
Hmm.
This is an interesting play on the vampire film. This is different. This is it does something different with the whole treatment, how it plays with the whole vampire ideas, the tropes. And it's a movie that I've kind of seen bits and pieces of, but haven't really watched it all the way through. So it's one that I've been excited to really kind of sit down and watch. And on this show, anytime we get like a different kind of vampire story, let alone one from 1935, it's like, all right, this should be pretty good. It's early Poverty Row also, so we're going back to Poverty Row. It's been a while. Good. Again, we're kind of just getting back to our roots.
Yeah.
A shorter movie, closer to an hour.
Back in our comfort zone.
Yeah, I mean, again, I was telling Evan before the show, we really led with a lot of those kinds of movies out of the gate on this program, and so we've been catching up the past 2 seasons on our longer hour and a half, or in the case of last week's movie, our longest film.
It was a marathon.
Up to this point, 2 hours and 20 minutes. I guarantee we will not have another film that long. But next week we'll be right back to that real comfortable spot. So this should be interesting. So we'll be doing that on Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern on Twitch and YouTube. We will not be doing a mini-sode on Wednesday. I won't be available, so we'll be taking Wednesday off, and we'll be back the next Wednesday with another installment of Tales of Tomorrow. But so far, that's been enjoyable, pretty good. Aliens and time travel and aliens and pretty much, par for the course. But so far, pretty fun. Live TV, gotta love it. And like we said at the top of tonight's episode, we'll be having another. God, why do the name? I always have trouble with Spine Tingling Tales installment on Monday, part 2 of
The Yellow Sign.
The Yellow Sign, thank you. And are there 2 or 3 parts?
3 parts.
3 parts. Okay.
So the finale will be next, 2 weeks.
2 weeks after this coming Monday. I have one of my stories coming up, and we switch off every week. So if you haven't listened to any of those yet, of course, you can find those over on our YouTube page. We're over there at Scream Stream Live. So you can check out the Spine Tingling Tales, the Yellow Sign, and the Telltale Heart. And be on the lookout for the Yellow Sign Part 2. Of course, you can also catch up on all of our past episodes over on our YouTube page. And we'll also have another installment of the Saturday Night Shockers this Saturday. So be on the lookout for that. And of course, if you want to follow us on the socials, we won't be able to announce the drink on Wednesday. So if you want to figure out what our cocktail is going to be, then you can find that over on our Instagram page. We're over there at Scream Stream Show, also on X and TikTok at Scream Stream Show. If you want to follow me or Evan on the socials, you can find me over on Twitter, X. It doesn't matter. I get so hung up on it. Whatever. That site, you can find me over there at Spakenstein. You can find Mr. Evan Sink over there and on Instagram at Caligari Cursed. Anything before we sign off tonight, Evan?
Did they ever do a film called The Masochist?
I don't think that's been taken yet.
The guy shows up and then gives them the gun.
Ooh, shoot me. Go ahead. Shoot me. Shoot me. We're right after the show. We'll get writing. Until next Friday, sweet screams, everybody.
And to all a good fright.